And welcome back to On the Hash with Hatfield. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel on Cova Sports TV. And we have a special guest with us. He is the head football coach of the Builders from the Apprentice School, who will be in action this coming Saturday at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex in the Neptune Bowl as they take on Atlantis University. We say hello to Coach Vincent Brown. Coach, thanks for stopping by. How's life treating you here as we're in November? It's that time of year. Football is always exciting, and it should be a fun one on Saturday.
Well, it's November. First and foremost, thank you for having me. It's November, so we know it's gearing up for bowl season, playoff season. Teams are finishing up their schedules, and so we're excited. We're able to finish above 500 and go out and prepare for a bowl game. So our student body is excited. Our players are excited, and our coaches have been hard at work.
That's tremendous. Let's talk about your background a little bit before we dive into this matchup and your key performers, because I know you have a very interesting journey from your days playing and getting into the sport of football as a coach. And you have some also fascinating members of your coaching staff, one of which I know has played in the NFL from my favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals, was an offensive lineman and got to go to the Super Bowl in Elton Brown. But just kind of take us through your bio and background and those that help make your program what it is.
Well, after my playing days, I actually attended the University of Memphis and Morgan State and had some opportunities after college to go and play in the professional leagues, whether it was the indoor or work out with the pros and, NFL Europe overseas and some teams overseas. And so when I was in the midst of coming out of the combine and my private workouts, end up deciding I had a choice between going to play ball in Canada or go into the Arena League. So that was my two options coming out, hoping that I would be able to get some more tape in and get reevaluated by the NFL. Well, lo and behold, during my first season, I suffered an injury that kind of set me back. But, I always just had a passion for the game of football in itself. And so some doors opened up overseas where I was able to go over and play in Italy and play in the United Kingdom. And so after my playing career, I had so many young people. We used to do so many camps over there, and they were just so intrigued about the game of football. And when I started to learn that football was not only just in the States and in the European leagues, but in countries like Africa and countries like the Saudi Arabia, so many places you would never think there was football, right? Japan, Germany, Austria. So I got into coaching overseas, and so I began my coaching journey there with a couple clubs overseas with the Coventry Jets. And so from there, came back home. I coached there for a year and a half. Came back home and was offered a job with Lewisburg College. And that was my first American coaching job down in Lewisburg College. I was the defensive line coach and strength and conditioning coach. And we ended up having a great year, actually one of the best years in the school's history at the time, and ended up going to a bowl game. And I knew right then and there that I just had a passion for coaching football, helping young people succeed and reach their goals and dreams, and building character through the game of football, which is some of the pillars of our program, helping young people become leaders. Through that, my journey took me to Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C., which is the school for the deaf and hard of hearing. Well, we ended up having the best record in school history there as well, and going to the playoffs for the first time, and having a playoff appearance, which was huge, which we were on the news and everything of that nature. And I had joined Coach John Davis there. From Gallaudet, I ended up making a transition to Campbellsville University. I kind of wanted to go up in the ranks, and so I made a transition to scholarship football out in Campbellsville, Kentucky, and we ended up having a great season there. So I've been blessed. That my journey's been great. I had a great season there. I got a call from Coach John Davis when he took over as the head coach here at Apprentice School, and it was an easy decision for me because we had always talked about if one of us got the opportunity, that it was a no-brainer to bring the other one in if the opportunity was right. So end up joining John here, and we end up rebuilding the program. I can remember our first team meeting here at the Apprentice School, which they've had a huge history of football, over 100-year history here. But our first team meeting, we had 12 individuals. And so you can imagine me coming from NAI and scholarship football to a meeting of 12 individuals and figuring out, okay, what are we going to do? But luckily for us, we made the transition. We went out. We started to work from day one, and then we end up building something special. And we end up winning our first national championship here at the school, which was an amazing feat. And then I'll say 2 years into that, when the COVID season hit, Coach Davis decided to take another opportunity. And I met with the head of the school, the director of the universe of this school, and decided to take on as the head coach. I had a lot of relationships here. I love what the program offers young people, how they set young people up beyond sports and beyond the 4 years of college education, and have some guarantees in place. And I thought it was one of the best opportunities in the country. And so we've been able to take over the program. We end up winning, going 9-1, and having some great battles against some ODAC teams and CNU crosstown rivals. We end up having I was able to secure that game and schedule it, which is which to us is the biggest game in this school's history, to go over there and compete against those guys, knowing that the next year they went to the playoffs in the NCAA. So we've been doing a tremendous job here. I have a great coaching staff. I have a great support staff, and we have some great young men. So I've been blessed all the way through.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating journey because you don't hear often, like you said, having that international flavor to your coaching odyssey here. You think of it maybe in sports like, say, basketball or soccer or something of that nature, but really cool for you. And you're a native of Detroit, Michigan, and graduated from EC Glass High School in Lynchburg, correct?
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
you have an appreciation of athletics in all over the globe, not just in the 757, but all over the state and beyond our state boundaries. And as we dig into your team here and this matchup on deck here, your coaching staff, you just hit on it briefly. You have some other Browns on this coaching staff, the likes of Elton Brown, who played in the NFL, Scorpio Brown, Lyndon Trail. People remember him from his days not too long ago here. Got a chance to go in the pro ranks, Norfolk State University. So it's a really neat bond, I imagine you all have, right?
Yeah, it's been amazing because I've been very blessed and fortunate to be able to obtain coaches like a Elton Brown, who is, to me, is the mayor in this area. His illustrious career. The funny thing about it is I was a freshman on the EC Glass state championship team when Ronald Curry was the quarterback at Hampton, and Elton ended up coming there the next year. So we didn't get to play against each other in the high school ranks, and we missed each other in the colleges. Him being at UVA, me being at Memphis and Morgan. But I actually got the opportunity to play against Scorpio Brown, who was also my co-offensive coordinator and strength and conditioning coach. And man, it's been full circle. So being able to reconnect and share those stories with both of those guys, we kind of have our rivalries here and there. And then being able to bring just a multitude of coaches, giving them opportunity. I look at this position that I'm in as helping younger coaches get into the coaching game, becoming better, becoming stronger in their crafts. And then if they choose to stay or if they choose to go, then I'm always going to promote them to do what's best for them and their family. But we've been very lucky and fortunate here at the Apprentice to have such quality coaches with the wealth of experience. As you mentioned, Coach Trail, I brought him on a year ago, and he's been growing as a coach. He was a player at Norfolk State. He played in the NFL as well. And so I'm always looking for those type of guys who are hungry, who are willing and able, and who are, their main goal is to help young people develop as leaders.
Mm-hmm. Let's dive into your team, some of the key performers. I know you have some 757 guys on this roster and that are homegrown from the state of Virginia. And I know in your senior day loss to Monroe, you were able to force some turnovers, but you also made the comment that you couldn't get quite rolling on offense. had too many turnovers yourself, moved the ball some chunk plays, but struggled to score. Give me sort of an assessment of your squad, what you like, what you got to clean up here for this matchup, and some of the ones to watch out for.
Well, as you said, we do a great job of recruiting in our area. It's a wealth of talent here in the 757 and in Richmond and in Lynchburg, all these places in Virginia. So you really don't have to go too far, but we do a great job of, spreading the wealth, right? We go up to PA, we go down to Georgia, we go to North Carolina. So our roster is spread, but the main core is 757 guys and Virginia guys, and so we knew this year it's amazing enough. We were in a rebuilding year, right? We graduated. We had one of the biggest graduation classes here at the Apprentice School. We're very proud of that, and one of the highest GPA for the school for athletic teams. So we're very proud of that. But we've been in a rebuilding stage, and we started off with one of our former players who also is a golf player, and he came back for his senior year, Grant Swanger, and he ended up getting injured. And so that kind of threw a curveball. And even though we had a great talent like Junior Rios from Warwick High School coming in, all through camp, he was working receiver because we felt like we knew Grant could do the job. And so we had his backup, which was Logan Coleman. And so, just trying to get those guys going. But overall, we've been hit with the injury bug, so we had to put some pieces into place that would necessarily not play. And so my hat's off to this team for the way that they've been able to handle adversity, fight through the storms. And then we're just, as a coaching staff, figuring out how to put our guys in the best position possible to be successful. We got some great talent at receivers with TK Petty and Josiah Beecham and AK and Kyle I know Kyle, he got injured as well, but we put some great athletes around our quarterback to be able to go out there and make plays. And our strong foot this year has been our defensive unit. Though most of those guys have been together a little bit longer, we end up losing some guys early just to the nature of who we are and where we're at. They just didn't handle their business. But for the most part, we played a game physical. We're disciplined. But we've had some situations where we had to put some young guys in the back end. And at that point, it's a 50-50, right? It's a toss up. And some of those guys need to mature a little bit more and need to get better in the weight room in an off season. But the future's bright here. We look to have a great recruiting class coming in. So I'm excited that these guys get to play in this game and go out there and show who they are and what they're all about.
Yeah, we'll get to the meaning of playing this Neptune Bowl and the matchup here with Atlantis University in a second, but you hit on it. A lot of local flavor. Those swingers hurt from Grassfield High School. Junior, as they call him, Eduardo Rios from Warwick High School. You got Sincere Hawkins on defense from Maury. Adonis Watson, a teammate of Rios's at Warwick. I'm forgetting some other guys. Jashawn Miller Arrington from Kempsville. List goes on and on. AK Al Kendrick Overton from Nance. Whatever. For those that are unfamiliar with what you all do at the Apprentice School, you are the builders. You have student athletes and young men in general that have trades here. It's more than just being the football player. You ask a lot from the responsibility standpoint, but I'm sure it's very fulfilling and enriching for them when it's all said and done, which you all help them learn and grow from in their time there.
Absolutely. And that's one of the biggest reasons, I decided to stay here and become the coach of the Apprentice School was for the opportunity that it provides. Not many people in the country know that our guys they have full 40-hour work weeks, and it's broken down between classroom study and on the waterfront, on the work front. So even when they're in the classroom, it's not a typical situation like, say, across the road where I might have a class on Monday and maybe on Thursday or something like that, right? Our guys are in the classroom bright and early, focused and ready to go because what they do is so great. Being able to be a part of and build and maintain the aircraft carriers and submarines for our U.S. military, to me, is one of the best jobs that you could have in the world, and so much pride that goes into that. So we try to stress that with our young men, understanding that, yes, it is a work piece. It is a educational piece, it's a development piece, but all of these things together will help you become a fantastic young man out here in our society. But more than that, set you up for the long run, well beyond playing the game of football. And so that's what we aim to do. We look to recruit in and build leaders for the company, and so they're able to go and have families and not be in debt, and those type of things is what's important to me. Some of my other schools that I mentioned before, you know, I watched kids go into debt, and then when they graduated, they had no plan, but they had a whole bunch to pay back. And so here our guys are graduating with great credit scores, 401ks, and rarely have to go to the bank to ask for anything because they've accumulated those things. So that's what I love about what we do. And then, we're going to continue to build upon that. And that's what we look forward to doing.
So awesome to hear in our final few minutes with you, and we appreciate you coming on. So glad to connect with you, and we're looking forward to calling the game. My partner, Coach Young, and I, we've been showing commercials for weeks now on our Cova Sports TV YouTube channel here and on the Hash with Hatfield, as well as on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Coming out, big tailgate before the game with Apprentice School and Atlantis University at the Plex. Kickoff at 2 o'clock, and we'll be streaming the game for you live, folks. Twofold question here for you, Coach. Part A of it for me. Tell me about this matchup with Atlantis University. What we should watch out for from them in terms of what they bring to the table offensively, defensively, schematically, as far as what they do. Some keys, if you can give us as well for the game, what you must do in order to be successful and come out on top in the ball game. And then second fold, just the significance of playing this ball game at the Plex in the 757, representing the area code against a team from the Sunshine State. What's it mean? Kind of break those two down for me if you can.
Absolutely. So when you talk about Atlantis, you talk about a team that's have been building the last couple of years and getting their program right on track to be where they want to be and to have the opportunity to play in this game. Anytime you talk about the state of Florida, right, you're talking about speed, you're talking about athletes. So we have to prepare for that. Watching them on film, they have some big boys up front on that offensive line, and their quarterback, he's a bigger set guy, but he has the arm strength and he has the vision to get the ball to where he wants to go. So when it comes to them and then watching them on defense, they're going to play man to man. They're going to play some zone. And so we have to be very secure on our side of the football as far as our offense taking care of the football first and foremost, and then being able to run the ball. We know if we can give our quarterback the time that he needs, then we can find our receivers, our playmakers. That's the type of offense that we push. And if you look at some of our scores early on, we were headed in that trajectory. And so I look forward to those guys stepping up to the plate, our offensive linemen coming together, giving our guys time, and our running backs running hard. On the defensive side of the ball for us, it's our strategy has always been the same. We're going to play aggressive football. We have to tackle, and then we have to create 3 or more turnovers. That's been the staple since I've been here at the Apprentice, and when we brought in the 24K turnover hat. And so most of the times when we're able to do that and be solid on special teams, which is going to be big in a bowl game, you should make sure that you're spending enough time on your special teams to be secure where we're not. We know we can flip the field position, but we're not turning the ball over and setting ourselves up on the opposite side of the field. So we've been putting a lot of emphasis into our special teams, and they have gotten better over the last 2 weeks as well. And so for us, we go out there, play the game to the final whistle, and go out there and give us everything that we know that you can give us, and we'll live with the result.
Well, it should be a fun one coming up on Saturday at the Plex. Neptune Bowl, 2 o'clock kickoff as the Apprentice School Builders try to finish above the 500 mark, playing host to Atlantis University. Coach Vincent Brown, thank you so much for stopping by. All the best. We'll see you on Saturday, and have a good one.
I really appreciate it. Everybody come out. It's going to be a great time to celebrate a great game in the 757. Come out, support your builders. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you there.
You bet. Vincent Brown, our guest here on the Hash with Hatfield. We'll take a timeout and come back with more, including some of the high school football playoff matchups for this weekend. It's on the Hash with Hatfield on Cova Sports TV. Stay tuned.